Welcome once again to the Shlicketty cast. I'm your host, Aaron Forsyth. Oh, you're in for a treat today. You are in for a double Shlicketty-doo. Here we go. Production charts. Wow. Call maintenance. Here we go. I got something going on. I got something rattling. We got somebody walking in front of the thing. We got the interns, dwarfs and interns and people, humans. Here we go. Here we go. Let's talk about it, folks. It's the Shlicketty cast. Thank you. We're getting noisy. All right. What an intro. That's the worst. Here we go. Here's my buddy Mike. Here we go.
All right, there it is. There's the shot. Everybody loves it. Turn on my fan, I'm hot.
Yep. Yeah, a little warm here. A little hot in the hot tub here.
It is a little hot in the hot tub. I'm gonna turn my pants into shorts underneath.
Yeah, I know. I got the blazer on. Look at that, huh?
Turn into cargo shorts. Summer's a coming.
I know.
Spring's a coming.
Yeah, so it is. I know. But it's a little warm, so we're in between heat. We're in between cold. We're in between episodes. We're at episode 42, guys.
Right.
42. Jesus. You know, I think, Mike, I was thinking about this. What do you think? I've been at this point. I wanted to run this by you. We'll run it by management. We'll talk to our agents. What do I think we got to start talking to people about getting some ad reads, right? And I was thinking like, all right, I sent some emails out, didn't get much back. All right, but okay, I'm gonna do it again. I'll send some out. So I'll do it again. But here's what I was thinking. And the kiddios out there watching out there in Shlicketty-doo land might want to partake with us. But I was thinking, are we ready to do ad reads? Could you do an ad read right now?
Dude, I do cold reads at script readings. I'm really good at it.
Wow.
Yeah, I can do an ad read. Actually, I've done commercials before. Have you ever looked at my demo reel?
No.
Yeah.
No, I've seen parts. I've
done commercials.
I've seen that. I've seen that, but I've never seen it all in a row.
Yeah, I do voiceovers for all the stuff. I did all the voiceovers for all the instructional videos I did at SpectraPure. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I have one for you here, buddy. Here's what we're going to do.
What are you doing?
Well, let's just say I've got an ad read for you. I'm putting you on the griddle. What do you say? You want to do an ad read?
Is this something we're getting paid for?
Not yet, but we're going to show the people what they're going to get. We're going to show them what kind of professionality in ad read land we're going to get. So I got two commercials here. I can read one, you can read the other. You want it, or do we want to bounce back and forth on one?
How long are these?
They're just like normal paragraph and a half. Do you need time to look it over before you read it, or do you want to go in cold?
With you writing it, I probably want to take a look at it.
Yeah. Well, all right.
With a script that somebody's rewritten 3 times, I'm okay.
Okay. Well, I don't know. I like them both. I don't know which one I would prefer. All right. Well, you're kind of familiar. Here, you're kind of familiar. I'm going to throw it to you. Ah.
That worked about as well as you would.
I know. That was like a paper airplane-less. I was like, yeah, that was like the new paper airplanes. No FCC control running into each other. Now, what do you, I guess I should have your ad read. Should I read it, or you want to read yours? What do you think? This could be fun.
So you just gave me 2 copies of the same thing?
Yeah. I was just in case we were going to bounce back and forth on the same one.
There's a lot of fucking text here, man.
Yeah? Is it hard to read?
It's a lot of text. This is going to take like 4 minutes.
4 minutes? I read it out loud. I timed it. It was like a minute and a half. Well, this is a long one.
You're just reading it as fast as you can, though.
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess let's say this was an audio version, and normally we would, if we were to do your ad reads out there, people who potentially could hire us, I would read it. I would memorize it. I'd put it in the old noggin there, and then I wouldn't be reading it out like I'm going to be reading right now. But hey, let's do a mock ad read. Should we do it? Should I go first, or you want to go first?
I'll do it.
You got it? All right. Oh, also, in post, why don't you add some cool, playful music behind it? So let's cut the commercial.
Making more work for me. All right. From the fine folks at Family Solutions, Inc., it's Murder Rug. Folks, want to get rid of someone, but you just don't want to deal with the mess? Tired of expensive shovels, heavy bags of lime, and cement mixes? Let's not even talk about all that bleach. Ooh, don't get me started. Well, we have the solution for you. Murder Rug! Lay a freshly murdered person or pet on the murder rug, roll them up like a large burrito, and use the Velcro ties included to secure the burrito. Next, cover the rug in our exclusive decomposition fabric and voila! And finally, call the 1-800 number on your box and a representative will arrive in 3 to 5 hours to take your murder burrito away, no questions asked. No more mess, no more fuss, never a long drawn-out alibi, just 100% satisfaction. Thanks, Murder Rug. Wow, I never thought it would be this easy. Get 42% off your first Murder Rug by using the promotional code Shlicketty, and you are on your way to savings and changes. Get the life you deserve without all the mess. Murder Rug! And if you act now, we'll throw in 3 free pairs of murder gloves as the official post-murder rug contemplation cigarettes. A free pack of cigarettes to smoke as you figure out what to tell the rest of the family. And extra $29 value, yours free if you act now. Thanks, Murder Rug.
Hey, see? Professional. Look at that. We are ready for product placement. What do you say? Yeah, I like Murder Rug. See, that makes me want to order Murder Rug right now.
I mean, the copy needed a bit of a revision, but...
Sure, I could probably edit it down. That was the first draft, but not bad, not bad. You did a good job at reading. You had a little gas in there. All right, all right.
That's how you do it.
Yeah, all right. Let me try mine here. Here we go. Ad read. Today's ad read. Wait, cue the music. There we go. Nice little playful music.
We'll give you soap opera music.
Yeah, yeah. Something cool. Something like...
No, not something cool. Soap opera music.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Something hokey. Yeah. There it is. Okay. Lay me down's funeral candy. Tired of people coming to your house and opening the lids to all your candy dishes? Are you tired of those unappreciative children grabbing all the good candy and leaving you with the one no one wants? Well, parents and home entertainment enthusiasts, we have the solution. It's funeral candy. It's chalky, it's weird, it's in the right temperature, and it may fuse together, making it the most undesirable candy for your home needs. Butterscotch, root beer barrels, ribbon mints, odd-shaped candies that'll have no discernible flavors, then the old can be yours so that you can have the real candy all to yourself. Wow. Of course, as per request, we even threw in a few strawberry wrapped ones. Don't you worry, those will go first. And shortly thereafter, you can be left with all the undesirable candies. Your guests won't know what to do with those weird chalky squares that have no names. And kids will immediately spit out those root beer barrels and leave the room without a word. Problem solved. And as a bonus, we're gonna even throw in a few caramel squares to make it seem like we kinda like you. It's funeral candy, brought to you by Lame Down, and when your guests are dying for something sweet. Available now in already stale and freshly sealed bags. Funeral candy is barely edible for the whole family. Keep your real candy under your bed or in the credenza, hidden away from those gribby-grabby guests, and make your home less takey-takey and more fakey-fakey. Funeral candy, buy it by the bulk. Now back to the show.
It's so long.
Well, that's what they would get for their money. See, this is what I'm saying. We're giving the potential advertisers money. Mike, money. The Shlicketty Ducats is giving them extra meat on the bone.
Adding value to it.
Well, they would probably write their own script and we would have to bump it up and edit it down. I'm sure if we had the stopwatch, that was a little long. Both were a little long. I could edit it down.
Oh, way long.
Yeah. But hey, if somebody wanted to give us a little bit of chingola.
Scratchety-doo.
Scratchety-doo, some lickety-split, some ching-ching-chingola. Well, then Daddy-O's going to read the old Shlickety-doo.
All right.
All right.
All right, well, you know.
So what? Oh, let's recap. That was fun. I want to write more. That was fun writing that, though. I was giggling to myself as I was typing those away today.
Yeah.
All right, so here we go. Remember how we talked about Apple TV? We talked about the movie that I watched, but you didn't get to see it because you don't have Apple TV yet. But what was it called? Oh, The Gorge.
The Gorge, yeah.
The Gorge. See, this is where I can't spoiler anything. But this is going to go into my newest rant. And the rant, which is definitely driving me nuts. And I've been thinking about the Rant. Now, the Gorge, side note, sidebar, great movie, pretty cool. I'm not going to say, oh my God, changed the world, but fun ride. I enjoyed it. Had a little bit of everything. Kind of back half is kind of video gamey, but cool. Okay, we'll move on. You won't guess. When you see the trailer, you're not going to believe.
Wait, when you say the back half was kind of video gamey, do you mean it looked video gamey like Abe Lincoln Vampire Hunter?
Set-wise, yeah, but yeah.
Because that had a real good look and tone to it, but then it got to that, what was it, that battle in the cornfield at the end, and it's just CGI people jumping around, and it was like,
this was CGI monsters. I don't want to divulge what the monsters are, but...
No, don't spoiler alert it for me, bro.
But there was
Don't spoiler alert me, bro.
I could tell you that the Gorge, it was smoky, so it was kind of like Resident Evil kind of feel in the visual. Like imagine playing Resident Evil on your game, and walking through the fog.
What do you know about Resident Evil?
I know Resident Evil.
You mean Silent Hill?
And Silent Hill. I know Silent Hill as well.
Sounds much more Silent Hill-y than Resident
Yes.
Evil.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Right. Okay. Yeah. But that kind of vibe. They're walking through. They're looking for things. Things are jumping out.
Well, that's what it seems like from the trailer.
Right.
It's all fog and mist down there at the bottom of the thing, which I'm sure it's dry ice fog.
Yeah. But worth a watch. Worth a watch. The 2 hours goes by quick. There's a little hint of romance in there. It doesn't take you too far out of it. It actually, the romance, you go, oh, I'm kind of glad they had that because it made you like the characters more.
Yeah. When I saw the trailer, I thought it was a real good setup to get to know the characters and the setup and more about what's going on. And it's a good way to draw you in.
Okay.
Well, I will say this, with the Apple Plus, I was watching the Screen Actors Guild Awards the other night.
Okay.
And that Severance show kept coming up.
Yeah.
I was kind of curious about.
In.
Yeah, I was kind of curious about watching that because I'm like, I keep hearing about it and shit, but I don't have the Apple Plus.
Yeah, Severance is wacky weird. It's kind of strange. Yeah,
That's what I hear.
Yeah, it's got like a Spike Jonze feel to it. So, okay, here we go. We'll go back to the Gorge. Now, the Gorge, no complaints. Okay, we move on. But there was one complaint about it, and this won't spoil much. And it got me thinking, okay, the lady who played the mean, bad lady who hired and was the mean, owns the tech. And it was the lady from Aliens. What's her name? Who?
Sigourney Weaver?
Sigourney Weaver, yes. So it was a short-haired Sigourney Weaver playing like a pantsuit kind of tech lady. And here...
Wait, is this at the beginning of the movie or the end of the movie?
She's all through it periodically,
The Gorge?
Yeah.
Boy, from the trailer, it looked like there were only 2 people in it.
Well, yeah. So she's the one who hired them.
Oh, okay.
But she ends up...
So let me ask you this. Is there a little bit more context where you get a little sense of the world?
Yes.
Or is it like the first season of Westworld where it's like, you don't know what's going on in the outside world?
Well, you don't know what's going on, but it unfolds quickly.
Okay.
You figure it out real quick. There's no real... Yeah, no left turns. So here we go. The baddie, she's Sigourney Weaver, normally a great actress, was terrible. And it seemed like she just walked on and winged it. Now here's my gripe. This is my rant. Here we go. Bad villains. Villains that act like villains. Okay? This was, so anyway, if you were looking the wrong way. And they're doing this whole
Wait. So what are you
sneery...
saying? What are you saying? You don't like villains that
No,
come
they're
across
villains.
as villains?
Yes.
Right.
They from an actor's point of view.
So you're subscribing to the idea that even the villain, in his own mind, is the hero of the story.
Exactly. That's
Okay.
the way it should be. But instead, they play him in these movies like the bad guy.
mustache twirling.
Oh, yeah. She was mustache twirling. Big time. Yeah, we'll call it mustache twirling.
The old
yes.
Snidely Whiplash.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Because you can always tell by the laugh.
Yeah, she was a step away from going, oh,
They're the only
I'll
ones
get
that do
you,
that.
you evil.
Right.
And it was this so over-comical villain thing. And then I started watching something else, and then it was like, and then I even turned into like, we were flipping through channels, I caught like 1 second of a Law and Order, and then there's the bad guy going, get out of my alleyway, you. And it's like,
Wait, what do you mean? Wait.
it was just some little clip. But then I'm flipping through
The bad guy from the Law and Order?
from a Law and Order.
Oh.
A random episode. Yeah, but it was one of those, get out of my, and then I'm flipping through channels and I'm seeing every bad guy or girl who's the protagonist has to have this evil or the actory evil. It's the stage actory evil, hokey, jokey, and it drives me nuts. And I said to the girl, I'm like, why do we have this? I would think actors would be smart enough to play the villain, not knowing they're the villain. Kind of like Tony Soprano plays Tony, or what's his name, plays Tony Soprano. He doesn't know he's the villain. He thinks he's the good guy. Therefore, that gives him so much more dimension. But then these movies and these goddamn TV shows are giving the villain all kinds of actor 101 bullshit. Ugh, it's like, hand me the apple. Oh. You know, have you noticed this? Is this a worthy rant?
Well, that is kind of the definition of the difference between sort of a two-dimensional character and a three-dimensional character. You know, it is when you're writing a script or something like that. It is all about the motivation of the characters. What do they want, right? What are they trying to get? What are they after, or whatever? And if the bad guy is just bent on like world domination or whatever, it's fairly two-dimensional. It's like a comic book.
Yeah.
It's like a pantomime sort of play where you got the white hats and the black hats, the good guy and the bad guy sort of situation, where it's very simplistic.
But why? I don't see why they can't just break from that stupid formula. I mean, we're not, as a viewer, I'm not that dumb to not know who the bad guy is.
Bear in mind, if you're talking about movies, they're coming from a tradition of silent movies, and then the Westerns, where all that sort of stuff was communicated by what they look like and all this sort of stuff. It's all this sort of symbolism that's sort of baked into it. So it's easy to get away with it and do that sort of shorthand. That ooh, he's a bad guy.
Right.
Or show him when you first introduce him, he kicks a dog or something. Like, he's a bad guy. We don't like him. This is like easy enough stuff. But if you take it the next step and actually develop it into a three-dimensional character that's got his own wants and desires and conflicts and feelings about things, then you sort of get that angle that you're looking for of the further insight into the villain to where you can see that to their mind, they're trying to do something good. Like even Thanos thought he was doing something good.
Right. That had a layer of it that we wanted. I know. I think it's you're dumbing your audience down by saying, it's like, it's almost like playing the hooker who talks sexual. It's the villain who talks evil. You don't have to do that. You know what I mean? It's this whole dumbing down of us, the listener, as if we're not going to get it.
Well, that's American movies and TV.
Oh, it blows.
That's the whole
stinks.
That's the whole point of why I like to watch the British TV shows and the British movies. They don't pander down to you. If you're not paying attention, shit just blows by.
Okay.
And they're not like, wait a minute, do you mean this, and this? Right over here? Like you were saying? This over here? Right. They don't do that.
Yeah, that
shit
literal
just blows
bullshit.
by. There'll be a camera cut to somebody. They'll arch an eyebrow just a millimeter and then move it on.
Yes.
If you didn't see it, you don't get it.
That's what I want.
It's very subtle.
It's like,
it's fun. It keeps you engaged.
Yeah, I don't get this. Yeah, it's that comic book, and there's always the shot of the villain who goes, ugh, and does the faraway stare scene, and they look out the window and go, ugh, It's like, oh, stop it.
Well, if you think about it, that faraway stare comes from the stage.
Oh,
because if they're talking to the people and then they turn and they do that faraway stare, they get to show their evil face to the audience. The audience can go boo.
Right. That's okay. I could see
like
it there.
Shakespeare shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's where we're working
with all the people down in the pit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But you don't need it in when it's almost like, okay. Here's a prime example. No spoilers here because we've all seen it. What was in Avatar first Avatar? Now imagine that.
You mean the Avatar?
Yeah, the blue guy. Now imagine the army guy who's the bad guy. We all know who he is.
Right. The guy with the scars on his face.
Yeah, and he was just such a jerk. Mm. Now, does he have to be that big of a jerk?
There doesn't seem to be any reason for it. If he had a rationale, like the Avatar people, like when they breathe, like they instead of carbon dioxide, they're giving off some sort of poisonous methane that turns our blood to dust.
Or if he really had...
Like there was a risk.
They were mining, so they're like, okay, we need the mining fields for this and this, and then have a heart and a reason. But instead he was just like, I'll get there. He's a cigar-chomping angry guy.
But that's why you had Vonnie Ribisi there as the corporate guy. He's like, we got to get the... Yeah, I mean, just... You can tell the bad writing by the names anymore. Here's my thing. Because remember what they were there to get? Remember what they were to get? What the mineral was?
It was something in the tree, wasn't it?
Unobtainium. What a fucking stupid fucking name.
Unobtainium?
It's the dumbest name since that goddamn How to Train Your Dragon movie with those fucking character names.
Oh.
The kid's name is Hiccup. The dragon's name Toothless. Fucking... Get some goddamn creativity.
Oh my God, you could have had a word generator find better names.
Put nouns and adjectives in a hat and fucking pull a couple out. Something. Make an effort.
Oh, I know. I'm going to have a seizure here, Mike.
It makes me nuts.
Oh, we're going nuts. We're going nuts.
Anyway.
So that was a rant.
So it's essentially two-dimensional characters. It's cheesy writing. And depending on what they're trying to do with it, how much they're going to develop it, like for those Law and Orders and shit, they want to keep it very, very simple.
Yeah, I almost get it for that because that's kind of textbook whatever.
Bad guy's bad guy.
You're right. But I mean, come on, movie. If you're writing a movie, and now that I told you, anyone watching our episode right now and hear my rant, now when you're done watching us, flick on something on TV. I will guarantee you the protagonist, who is the bad guy, is going to do something like bad guys do. And, fuck off.
It reminds me of the shit that we used to watch when we were kids and stuff. Because in like the 70s, 60s and 70s, that sort of shit was like really prevalent.
Oh God, yeah.
Like the bad guys were just horrible people all around.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, they had to be the Grinch.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, just like horrible people where you're like, oh God, they're the worst.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I guess it wasn't until we started getting to like the Tony Sopranos and the people like that to where it's like, all right, now we're
when
adding
you start to get some good writing.
Yes.
And some fleshed out characters.
Because I want my bad guys to be human. I want my bad guys to have a reason to do it, and you almost want to maybe side with them at times.
George R.R. Martin of Song of Ice and Fire fame, he says that he finds the most fascinating thing the human heart in conflict with itself.
You hearing that?
So
writers.
Yeah. And I've had it said in one of the writing books I was reading where it's like, in order to get that sort of level, what you do is you have the character's feelings on a certain subject. They'll say this thing, but then they actually do the opposite.
Yes.
Because there's a dichotomy between the sort of public-facing view of themselves and the private person. That is what their real wants and desires are. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, anyway.
Yeah.
Fun, fertile ground for developing characters and fleshing shit out.
Yeah. So if anyone has a modicum of creativity in your writing out there, or
keep it to yourself.
Yeah, come on. Do better. Do better. Do better.
Try again.
It's a no-brainer on
Come
that
on.
one. Yeah, just remember I told you so.
Yeah, that's right. We knew.
I'm watching.
We were there.
Yeah, so that's my rant. Guys, we've been getting a lot of good feedback from 71 and 72.
Have they?
Today we're going to go to 73. The time machine's moving slow, but we're doing it episode by episode.
All right, you want to kick into this?
Oh, you ready?
I got some good info.
You got some meat on the bone? Because I wasn't finding too much hot shit for 73. I mean, I got some fun shit, but not as much as we did for 72.
Yeah, no, I got plenty. I got a whole shit ton here. All right.
Okay.
So, first off, let's dive into. I tell you what, we'll do this in opposite order. We're gonna start with the music. Okay.
All right.
And,
Oh, nothing. All right. Do we want to preface this that it's 73? Now, for the folks that don't understand 73,
it came between 1972 and 1974.
Right. It was a 1-year period. I mean, we're talking
lasting approximately 12 months.
Yeah. We're talking bell bottoms.
Over 300 days.
Yeah, we're talking bell bottoms. Everyone had armpit hair.
Here's what's interesting. All right. Let's look at the music list, and you'll get a sense for what was going on. Now, I got 2 different music lists. I pulled the usual Billboard Top 100 songs for the year, right?
Yeah, we did that.
But then I also pulled a list from, I think this is just like IMDb or something like that. Yeah, this is IMDb list. Oh, no, wait, sorry. That's not IMDb. I want to do this other one over here. Oh, hang on.
Today.
I'm doing it on web pages, so it's all like, and then all of a sudden they Okay, here we go.
All right.
So this other list is the 100 greatest songs from 1973. So it's not the Billboard charting songs. And you'll see the difference in this real quick. It'll become
Yeah.
very apparent when I start showing this to you.
Yeah, we don't have to do them all, but just grab some highlights.
Billboard charts, #1 song from 1973. You want to guess? Or did you see?
I don't remember, but I would have to say it would. She just died, wasn't it? Roberta Flack.
No, but that's here.
She's on there.
Yeah. So the #1 song from 1973 on the Billboard Top 100 charts.
Okay.
Tie a Yellow Ribbon around the old oak tree. Yeah.
Well, I can tell you why, because it ties into mine, why that is. It's because of the war. The war was
Right.
Vietnam War, the protests and everything like Vietnam War was coming to an end here. So tie a yellow ribbon around the old oak tree was a bring them back from war kind of vibe.
Yeah.
That probably might explain the chart.
Yeah. And then the #2 song was Bad Bad Leroy Brown.
Oh, wow, my dad had that one.
Schlocky, right?
Yeah, I know that. Yeah, Bad Leroy.
#3, The Killing Me Softly.
Right, yeah, Roberta Flack.
Let's Get It On, Marvin Gaye.
Oh, okay, yeah, that was it. Yeah, that's been on for the past couple.
A song called My Love by Paul McCartney and Wings.
Okay, I don't know the Wings.
That's the top 5 from the Billboard list.
Okay.
But this other list, they keep throwing up ads. This other list is, like I said, the 100 greatest songs from 1973.
Okay, what were the hippie kids doing? What were the old stoners?
Song #1 from 1973, Freebird.
See, there we go. That's why it ties in. That makes more sense.
Right.
Because when I'm talking...
#2, Let's Get It On. Cool.
Yeah.
Fair enough. 3, Midnight Train to Georgia.
Okay.
People like it.
It's a great song. Still works to this day.
#4, from 1973, Dream On, Aerosmith.
Wow, see? Here we go.
Right?
Here we go.
#5, Living for the City.
A Fool for the City? No, Living for the City.
I don't know what that one is. But then after that, Money, Pink Floyd.
Oh, Bonnie, yeah.
That was a big one. Piano Man,
Oh, okay, Piano Man, that's Billy Joel. We know that.
Billy Jersey. Next, Killing Me Softly. There's the Roberta Flack. Goodbye Yellow Brick Road.
Oh, Elton John.
Right. And That Lady, I guess. Other things like Benny and the Jets, The Joker, Radar Love, Higher Ground,
man.
Knocking on Heaven's Door, Get Up, Stand Up,
We know all those
Ramblin'
songs.
Man.
Oh, my gosh.
I mean, there's
that's all
some
the
that I'm
brothers.
skipping over. We're an American Band, Band
Oh,
on the
yeah.
Run.
BTO, yeah. Oh, my God, come on.
Right. So a lot of good songs that way. Going back here to this top 100 list, Why Me by Chris Christopherson, Crocodile Rock by Elton John, Will It Go Round in Circles, Billy Preston, You're So Vain, Carly Simon, Touch Me in the Morning by Diana Ross. You definitely see the difference in the two
Yes.
lists. Because the one it's like, oh, these are the greatest songs from over the whole course of the year, which is just going to be the top 10 songs from whatever the months were.
That's why I'm saying
But
the
half these-
divergent here. Well, here's the divergent. You got your mainstream radios playing all this
Right, that's
whitewashed
it.
bullshit
That's it,
and
yeah.
leftover Motown.
Yeah.
That's what and that's what the radio, the suits think the kids want. But the kids are really listening to Dream On Aerosmith. The kids are listening to fucking Leonard Skinner.
Yeah.
And they got the bell-bottom jeans, and they got the earth shoes on, and they got the afros, and they're smoking their crappy weed. And the hippies and the stoners are on the underground. And the suits up at the radio stations are thinking they're gonna win the kids over with tie a yellow ribbon around the old oak tree. Fuck off. Yeah. That's why I think there's a big, and with the war and everything like that, you're talking 73, there was a big chasm between the corporate people, the suits and ties, and the parents and the boomers, and then the kids. The kids were the uprising. The kids and the stoners, they were,
It was a whole counterculture.
Yeah, it's a counterculture.
There was the mainstream, and then there was the counterculture, which is not the mainstream.
So this is 73. 73 is burbling, man.
Yeah. So that's the music.
All right.
Next, we'll go through the TV stuff.
All right, TV. All right, so the homebody kids.
Yeah, the TV stuff's
What are they doing?
real quick. Actually, I have the 1973-74 TV show list
Sure.
is not that much different than the 72-73 list. So instead, I made a supplemental list. This is a short list of new shows that were not on.
Right. Okay.
The
Because we
previous
know the All in
year.
the Family was on. We know
All in the Family was on, all that sort of shit. Okay, Maude.
Yeah.
They were there. So these are the new shows that
Okay.
just popped up on the
It's
TV list.
73. It's a new year. Let's see what's happening.
MASH.
Oh, MASH came by. Okay, MASH, the first season, the pilot episodes.
Another version of MASH. No, I'm just kidding. Kojak.
Oh, Kojak was a big deal. I remember the intro. Yeah, I watched Kojak.
It got much bigger like mid late 70s. Like it kicked on huge, but
Arguably the first, Telly Savalas was the first guy with a shaved bald head
Yeah.
in mainstream.
Yeah.
Before that, unless you're elderly,
when we were
bald
kids,
heads.
that was a slam. You'd call someone Kojak.
Yeah, you'd call him a Kojak. Yeah, it was like Egghead or Kojak. Yeah.
All right. Also, in 1973, this might have been the induction tipping point for this whole shit. Sonny and Cher Comedy Hour, the old vaudevilles.
Yeah, that didn't last long, did it?
What are you talking about? That shit lasted till 1980.
Yeah,
I mean, not just their show, but all the variety shows.
Oh yeah, there's always a variety show. I think every channel had a variety show.
With a lot.
Yeah.
$6 Million Man.
Oh, now that's the fucking.
Way back in 73, 74.
Lee
Surprisingly, that was that
Majors.
early.
We love that. We love the Lee Majors. We had the Dolls. We had the $6 Million Man. Yeah, man, that's what we wanted to be. And arguably, the $6 Million Man had the slow motion action shot.
It did, yeah.
I think that was the first time as a kid seeing
was.
like the.
It was. It's like the easiest thing to do for like a visual effects. To
Yeah.
not spend any money on the visual effects.
And then put the little
Yeah.
behind it.
Yeah. Also, Streets of San Francisco.
I didn't know that one. Okay.
Carl Malden and Michael Douglas.
Oh, Michael Douglas again. We talked
Yeah.
about him last
It's a
week.
procedural cop show.
Huh.
They'd be chasing people around one of those big Ford type cop cars from the.
Oh, yeah. I don't know that one.
74.
Yeah.
If you saw it, you'd be like, oh yeah. But no, we never watched it.
No.
Like it wasn't on in reruns here in Erie when we were growing
That's
up.
what I was going to say. Because 73, you and I were still in diapers. So,
Yeah.
you're talking, if we caught any of these shows, it was later on.
Yeah, I did not have the remote control at this point.
No,
When I was- when
we
I was
didn't
two.
attain control yet.
Yeah, but two other shows that showed up right now ended up being legendary: Good Times and Happy Days.
Oh, Happy Days, that's a given. Okay, we'll talk. Yeah.
But this is when it popped off, right?
Yeah.
All right. So that's that. Now we just got movies.
Now, this is funny. Happy Days, does this tie in? Now, let me guess. Because Happy Days was kind of a playoff American Graffiti, wasn't it?
Happy Days started as a segment on an anthology show called Love American Style.
You're right.
And it was sort of based upon the writer's recollections of growing up in the 50s sort of thing, which was the same thing that George Lucas did with American Graffiti, which was his recollections of growing up in Modesto in the early 60s or whatever.
Okay.
And so the two were sort of like going around Hollywood at the same time. It was like the dude made the Love American Style thing. Nobody liked it, but they produced it. Then American Graffiti came out and was like this big hit out of nowhere at the festival circuits.
Yeah.
And then the people were like, hey, didn't we have a 50s thing? And it was the Happy Days episode from the Love American Style. So they ran that. That got a good response. They doubled down, spun it off to a show.
And here comes Happy Days. The
and
original
Laverne and
year of
Shirley
Happy
and
Days.
Mork and
Even when
Mindy
Richie Cunningham had the older brother.
Chuck.
Chuck was in only the first season.
Yeah.
No Chachi yet. Chachi was down the road.
Chachi was way later.
Yeah, he stunk.
Yeah, he's pretty terrible.
Okay, so keep going.
Okay, so now we'll move on to the movies.
All
So
right.
once again, kind of like the music, I got the main list and I got a supplemental list here. That's not quite the mainstream. So,
All right.
top grossing movies of 1973. So these are the ones that made the buku bucks.
Yeah, which would have been the ones that all the stoner kids were talking about at the water cooler.
You want to take a guess for number one? 73.
Ooh, well, American Graffiti. Oh boy, I don't know. It's hard to say. Man, no. Okay, surprise me.
The Exorcist.
Oh gosh, yeah, the
La
big scare.
Exorcisto.
Exorcist. Yeah, the
El
Exorcist.
Exorcisto. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and it made 193 million.
Oh yeah, that's arguably probably the biggest date night movie of 1973. Take your date, throw your arms. She's gonna jump in your arms after watching the scary movie.
Yeah, until the nausea sets in. All right.
Right.
Number two movie of the year, The Sting.
Oh, that was like a cop show, wasn't it? Or a cop movie, wasn't it?
No, that was the one with Jackie Gleason and Paul Newman where Jackie Gleason was Minnesota Fats and they were pool hustlers. Oh. Like the 1890s or something.
Yeah, I never saw it, but I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
They put that Scott Joplin ragtime song on the fucking radio. The Entertainer, remember? Dun, 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 dun. That's a fucking. That's why all the. Oh, never mind. Goddamn, The Entertainer brought back all that fucking 1900 jazz sort of shit.
Yeah,
That's why it
the
ended up.
ragtimey.
That was the music that played on all the goddamn ice cream trucks.
Yeah.
The Entertainer, Scott Joplin. All right. Number 3, American Graffiti. There it is. Number 4, Papillon.
Oh, that was a soccer guy, wasn't it?
No. Papillon is the movie with Steve McQueen again and Dustin Hoffman where they're in prison in some foreign country.
Oh, okay.
They're at Devil's Island prison in French Algeria.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There's a soccer element to that, though, wasn't there?
No.
No? Okay.
No. Well, I don't think so. Maybe. I haven't. It's been a long
Right.
time.
I wonder if there's
never really liked
Yeah.
it. It really wasn't my thing, but yeah. Anyway. You know, people were into feel-good movies in 73.
Okay.
The Way We Were?
I don't know.
I've never seen it.
Yeah. Okay.
Magnum Force. Didn't we have Dirty Harry on the list a couple lists ago?
Oh, yeah, Dirty, yeah. So this is probably, all right, so now year by year, Clint Eastwood's kicking
2
him
years
out
later,
year by year.
Dirty Harry went nuts. They went, oh shit, we gotta make another one.
Yeah, his agent's hot on his agent's on the phone.
So when
going,
people complain about, oh, we don't like sequels, you can thank Clint Eastwood for it.
Yeah.
All right, and, Live and Let Die.
Oh, Bond. Now that would arguably, is that the first Roger Moore one? Because
No.
before, no?
No, what is this?
Because the ones before that were Sean Connery.
I think this is still a Connery one.
Okay, we're going to have a Bond talk at some other point, but
Yeah,
we won't
'cause
go Bond today.
There was a schism where they were competing Bond projects at the time. Because You Only Live Twice was a rogue Bond production, but they actually had Sean Connery.
Oh.
So people think it's in the
I
main
didn't
kid,
know
but it's not. But
Yeah, you and I had a big, long James Bond conversation the other day. But
about
we'll
with
save
Amazon,
we'll have
yeah.
a whole Bond episode someday.
okay, number 8, movie from 1973, Robin Hood.
Oh, the cartoon with the fox?
I think it's the cartoon animated one. Yeah, the Disney one.
Yeah, the original Walt Disney.
Yeah, because it's not. I tried watching Robin Hood from like 1934 with Errol Flynn.
Oh, that's pretty bad.
Boy, talk about fucking 2-dimensional characters, man.
Yeah, that's
Oof-ah.
horrible. But I
Jesus.
bet you the one with the fox and everything. Now, keep in mind, Walt Disney World's open. Because we covered this 2 episodes ago,
71.
1971. So Walt Disney World now is kicking up the budget. Walt Disney Productions are kicking them out.
Well, no. Actually,
Well, you're gonna see these-
No, actually, by the 70s, they were losing money hand over
Oh,
fist.
okay. So,
They had their heyday was like the 40s,
well, true.
and they were not achieving that level of success too much, hit or miss through the 50s and 60s. But if you think about all those big classics, those were all like 30s, 40s sort of thing.
Yeah, that's true.
Dumbo was 1940.
Yeah.
Like Cinderella was like, or Snow White was like 35 or something
yeah.
like that. You know. So by the time it got to the 70s, remember by the late 60s, early 70s, a lot of the animation studios are getting downsized, if not closed. MGM, Warner Brothers, Disney.
Yeah, Hanna-Barbera's probably fucking
Well,
gone.
they actually started cranking. Well,
Were they cranking Scooby-Doos and shit out?
no, they had done Flintstones and Jetsons.
Yeah.
Which were doing Bang Up. And I think 73, they actually moved into the Saturday morning kids shows.
Okay. That's right. That's right.
With all the Snagglepuss and all that sort
Oh,
of shit.
yeah, and
Laugh
Speed
Olympics
Buggy.
and shit. Oh, yeah, all the Speed Buggy, all that shit.
Yeah, Laugh Olympics, you're right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So 73 was definitely sort of like a weird period. A lot of weird shit going
For
on.
sure.
Okay, Paper Moon.
It's familiar. It's okay.
That's the one with Ryan O'Neal and little Tatum O'Neal. She won the Oscar for it. She's like 8.
Oh, yeah. Wasn't she like the orphan and wanted a daddy kind of thing?
They're like in like Dust Bowl, Kansas in the 20s. They're driving around some like old Model T. He's some flim-flam scam artist. She's his daughter. She believes in him and thinks good of him, but he's not worth it and everything. I don't know. I guess it's heartbreaking. I never watched it.
Okay.
Yeah. Number 10, Serpico.
Okay. Yeah. Arguably early mob stuff, early, 70s New York. Right?
You've never seen it.
No.
Yeah, it's not mob stuff.
No.
No.
Serpico, wasn't that Pacino?
Right. Pacino is the Serpico guy. He's the only not dirty cop. All the cops are dirty but him. And so because he's not dirty, it makes all the other dirty cops not like him. So then they're trying to kill him. He's trying to do the right thing, but,
Oh, vigilante thing.
yeah.
Nice.
So that's old Serpico. 11, Jesus Christ Superstar.
Ugh.
Whoa.
Ugh.
Jesus Christ. Wow. Number 12, World's Greatest Athlete.
I don't know what that is.
It's a Disney movie with
That sounds horrifying.
Jan Michael Vincent and John Amos.
Jan Michael Vincent.
They go over and find Jan Michael Vincent in Africa. He's like a Tarzan type. They bring him back to USC to run track. in track and
this
field.
is yes, this is ringing a bell here.
I forget who the head coach was, but John Amos was like.
John Amos was the big black guy with the bald head, right? He was a big guy.
Well, he was on Good Times. He was
Yes.
the fucking dad.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. John Amos is great. Oh, after that, number 13, Enter the Dragon.
Oh, Bruce Lee. Okay, now Bruce Lee's coming into the thing. This is where all us kids were in the schoolyard going, Bruce Lee!
Yeah.
Gonna join karate!
Next after that, we had mentioned Woody Allen, Sleeper. Sleeper's pretty funny, 73.
Yeah, okay.
He's like a guy who goes into sleep pod, then he wakes up like in the future. Everything's different. Yeah, it's just kind of funny. A Touch of Class. I almost think that's one of those Hercule Poirot movies with like Peter Ustinov as Poirot. You remember those? There were a bunch of those. Day of the Jackal, High Plains Drifter, The Last Detail, Battle for the Planet of the Apes.
Ah, man, now they're pumping out a Planet of the Apes every year.
And Westworld. That's it for notable.
Not a bad run, but if you thought about it...
That's the top 24 grossing movies of the year. Now, I have a supplemental list as well.
Okay, add to that.
Supplemental list. These are the 10 best horror films of 1973. All right, because
What was happening there?
there was a lot happening in the 70s for
Yeah,
fucking
would the Halloweens come
cool
out?
flicks. No. Hammer horror films, American International Pictures, Rant Corporation stuff out of England. There's a lot of interesting stuff
Right.
going on during the 70s.
Okay.
And remember, 1970, the MPAA came out with the rating system. So we get boobs. So everybody was going nuts with that. They were going nuts with the boobs. All right.
Okay.
Number one, of course, Exorcist. Same.
Sure.
No doubt, Exorcist reigns supreme in 73. Okay?
That works.
Number two, The Wicker Man.
Oh, Wicker Man.
I've never seen The Wicker Man.
No, I didn't either.
The old one or the other one. I think it's a very British movie.
Okay.
Next,
Maybe based on a book.
possibly, yeah.
Yeah.
Next is Don't Look Now, which is Julie Christie, Donald Sutherland, a married couple grieving the recent death of their young daughter, are in Venice when they encounter two elderly sisters, one of whom is psychic, and brings a warning from beyond.
Now, Donald Sutherland's hot ticket then, but I don't
He
think
was.
this is pre-Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
I don't recognize this one at all.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but he had been doing stuff. Like he had done a movie, I think around this time, called Start the Revolution Without Me.
Yeah.
It was pretty good. Also, 73, Theater of Blood. Theater of Blood. Yeah, these are like the Hammer horror sort of things. Oh no, this one's an AIP because it's Vincent Price. Vincent Price was doing the American International Picture films. He did all those Edgar Allan Poe things. Fall of the House of Usher, Mask of
Right,
Vendetta,
yeah, the
Pendulum.
voiceovers.
All that. No, he was in the movies.
No, I know, but they like his voice. But
He was doing those. Yeah, Theater of Blood. A Shakespeare actor takes poetic revenge on his critics who denied him recognition. It's Vincent Price as a Shakespearean actor who the critics didn't like. It is fun, and he kills them. It's a good time.
Yeah, it sounds like he wrote it for himself.
It's a good time. Next, Sisters. I think this is Brian De Palma film called Sisters. Small-time reporter tries to convince the police she saw a murder in the apartment across from her.
Oof. Okay.
Okay. Westworld,
Westworld. Okay.
technically a horror movie. The Night Strangler,
Oh, Night Strangler. Okay.
directed by Dan Curtis, starring Darren McGavin.
How do we know them?
Kolchak, the Night Stalker.
Ah, right, the Night Stalker. Oh man, my brother would probably be screaming, "Night Stalker!" I love
It's
it."
Darren McGavin in it right
Yeah,
there. And it's
yeah.
a Dan Curtis. Dan Curtis is the guy who did Dark Shadows. Right? And so that's why he spun off into the Kolchak stuff, I think. I don't know. Legend of Hell House, 1973. This is a good one. Roddy McDowell. A physicist, his wife, and two mediums are hired to investigate the Belasco house, where 27 guests had inexplicably died in 1927,
Jesus.
along with most of a team of paranormal investigators that was set in the early 50s.
Nice.
Fun.
Roddy
Legend of Hell
McDowell
House.
too. Now keep in mind, Roddy McDowell was probably in the Planet of the Apes movie too.
Oh, he was a kid actor,
Yeah.
so he was well known. Vault of Horror.
Okay.
This is a Hammer horror one, directed by Roy Ward Baker. When you see Roy Ward Baker, that's Hammer horror. So this one is an anthology of 5 horror stories shared by 5 men trapped in the basement of an office building. Remember the old horror anthology movies?
No, I don't know.
It's like the movie version of a book of short stories.
Oh, cool.
Remember like different seasons, or remember Blue World, that Robert McCammon
Yeah.
book that we were fucking looking at back when we were like 15? These horror anthology movies are like that, where there's like there was one called Tales of Terror or something like that with Boris Karloff and shit. It's a very British one. It's set in like 1790s. It's 3 people in a carriage, horse and carriages going down the road, and they're telling each other sort of ghost stories. And so as each one tells a story, we see
see it unfold.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, so the little anthologies, I always like those. Don't Be Afraid of the Dark was the last one here.
Okay.
John Newland was director, Kim Darby, Jim Hutton, Barbara Anderson, and Barb. A young couple inherits an old mansion inhabited by small demon-like creatures who are determined to make the wife one of their own.
The what? Demon creatures?
Small demon-like creatures. Never heard of that one. That might be
No, I
worth a
didn't
watch.
either. Yeah, I know.
That's called Don't Be Afraid of the Dark.
Stink.
No, it's probably fucking interesting.
Yeah, it could be fun.
Okay, so those were the lists.
All right, not bad.
We did the music, we did the TV, we did the movies.
And we broke off the mainstream list. See, that's what I'm saying.
Yes.
There's a divergence here. The
There
charts
is.
are different from what the underground's really doing.
Because there's this counterculture thing, and the list of the horror movies is clearly indicative of it.
Yeah.
Because if not for Exorcist bursting its way to number 1, for people being shocked and horrified nationwide, nary a horror movie on these movie lists
Right.
at this point.
I guarantee you, every one of those horror movies had a gratuitous boob shot.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
Yeah.
maybe even a bush. You never know.
depending. I mean, a lot of this stuff, especially over in England, these are like older dudes.
Yeah, yeah.
They were making movies
70s
since
liked the boob
40s,
shot.
50s.
Well, 70s was cool. They had the bell bottoms, the hip huggers, ear shoes, clogs, tie-dyes, gypsy dresses. All right, here's what we got. Now, I got to go into a whole pop culture, what was going on. This is my section here. Here we go, guys. Oh, boy.
Hey, can I ask something real quick?
Sure.
Anytime anybody, like, if a high school does any sort of play or anything like that, it's set in, like, anytime from 1967 up to, like, 73, it's all tie-dyes and bell-bottoms.
That's what they think.
And,
It's like hair.
And fringe and shit, right?
Yeah.
You couldn't buy that shit in stores, could you?
Back then?
Yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah.
You think so?
Oh, yeah. But I think there was a local level of boutiquerie going on. I think you had the corporate stores at the, because the
what I'm
mall
saying.
hadn't hit it yet. So I think boutiques were kind of...
I don't think Sears and JCPenney were doing much of the hippie wear. Were they? Maybe they were. I don't know.
I bet they did, but
don't
it
know.
would almost be like, remember when our Sears would have like flannels because grunge was hip?
No.
They did.
But I remember, like, when we were kids, those sort of ugly fucking early 70s clothes.
Yeah.
Like, you ever watch Brady Bunch?
Yeah.
And they're wearing, like, weird, like, long sleeve shirts with fucking terrible patterns on them.
Yeah, and like a velour shirt with a weird fucking zipper right here.
It's almost,
and
and it's almost
yeah,
like
I
a weird
had those.
moire
I remember
pattern.
wearing them.
I know. We all
And
had
those like brown earth shoes.
Oh, God, it was
yeah, and jeans that didn't fit well.
awful. Oh, God, it was
Yeah, it was horrible.
It was bad.
Yeah.
It was bad.
And textures and fabrics were thick. Almost, like there's no lycra about it. There's no stretch back
No.
then. Everything was thick, so you always got to think of like a couch material.
Well, remember corduroys were hip?
corduroys were hip.
Yeah.
And people were wearing corduroys in 80-degree heat.
And the thinking about jeans for kids was to make them like double thick,
Right.
Because the kids will tear through them.
Yeah.
It's almost like you see like 50s kids running around in those dark indigo blue jeans and shit.
Yeah.
It's like that.
Yeah, or I remember my grandmother putting patches
On the knees.
just because to
Just
prevent
because.
the rip.
I know. It was madness.
Precautionary patches.
Oh, it was lunacy. Fucking
yeah.
70s.
Well, guess what? In 73, there's a recession happening. Now,
Well, yeah.
there's things that were happening here, which are happening right now, which is kind of funny. It's kind of ironic. History repeats itself. Petroleum, oil, there was a recession was caused by an oil embargo, blah, blah, resulting in oil prices going up and an embargo, so blah, blah, blah. The Federal Reserve policy promoted a large increase in the money supply, which is the main reason that great inflation began in 1973.
Is that when it kicked off?
Yep. And major gas shortages from 73 to 79. So it was starting the major gas shortages. Like if you ever see clips of like old gas stations running out of gas and the like old traffic jams and like cars backed up into the interstate. I remember seeing old pictures of that.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I don't remember seeing it too much around here in Erie.
No, it was probably more the bigger cities. I
Yeah.
think Erie kind of had it under control. Maybe we had less cars. I don't know. But here we go. New inventions and things that came out then. Of course, the Xerox machine, the first computer design.
Wait. The Xerox machine?
The Xerox Alto.
Oh, wow.
The TV typewriter, a video terminal that displayed the text on a mini television.
Huh. So the first, like, word processor?
Well, it wasn't processing words, but it was kind of the first digital interface on a typewriter. So the kind of an electric type, the prototype for the electric digital typewriter.
I mean, if you could undo... Because wasn't the whole point of the word processor that you were typing into the little electronic screen, and then when you were good with it, it would commit it to the paper? So that you could do your corrections and shit in a little LCD display.
I think this is just a video terminal that displayed the text. So I'm pretty sure this was not doing what you're saying. I think this was just, it was just doing a copy to, yeah. I don't know. Who knows?
Is this the first time they hooked a keyboard up to like a video display?
Yeah.
Rather than before that was like punch cards.
Yeah, because at that time also...
Or tape.
Well, also keep in mind, we're about 2 years into the portable calculator. So that LED or LCD of the calculator was probably similar to what was happening on this typewriter.
Hey, let me ask you that. Oh, the light just gave out.
What light? Oh, Orb of Truth is gone.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll fix her up in post.
Yeah, well, plug them in. I was going to say, do you have on your sheet of fabulous information cassette tapes? When did cassette tapes come in?
Well, they're not mentioning it on this. I think we're in the 75, 76 on that one.
Okay.
I'm
All right.
thinking.
I'm just curious.
But
We'll see. We'll get there.
Yeah, hasn't got here. But
Yeah.
guess what else? Here comes the fun stuff. All right, here we go.
Here comes the fun stuff.
I know.
You should call that this episode. Here comes the fun
The
stuff.
RFID patented.
What?
Yeah, the RFID.
Wow, back in 73?
73 patented. Well, the first patent of it.
Yeah.
It hadn't hit the mainstream yet, but that was.
I know, but it was enough that they knew about it.
Yeah.
They knew how to use it.
Yeah.
They knew applications for it.
Barcodes, kids. Barcodes. That's what we're talking about.
Well, it's radio frequency identification.
Yeah.
It's also for like, putting the chips in your pets and...
Right. Guess what came out then also too? Cup of noodles. Ramen noodles in dehydrated vegetables in a cup.
Ramen noodles?
Yeah. Ramen. Well, ramen. Ramen.
Oh.
I don't know. Tomato.
Yeah, wow. 73, huh?
Yeah. Guess what? Bailey's Irish Cream. Bailey's, the alcohol, it was a
I know.
knockoff of the, yeah. And it was a billion seller. Housewives and everyone were buying it by the barrel. It was the biggest thing ever, as far as alcoholic drinks in 73. Yes.
So then people were having all their cocktail parties with Bailey's Irish Cream drinks and whatever.
Yes.
Weird.
And I don't know, Irish drinks were big. Maybe it was, and that's where the Irish car bomb was invented too, because of the Irish, okay. But we'll go on. Guess what else came out? Oh, here we go. This is the fun stuff. Baby Alive was, remember Baby Alive? Baby Alive.
Is that the baby doll for kids?
Right.
That would like go to sleep and you could feed
The eyes
it.
would open and close when it tilted backwards.
That's not the one that you fed, is it?
I don't know. I never had one. I don't know.
Because there was one that you could put water in the thing and it would drink the water and then it would pee. And then you had to change it.
All right. I just remember the baby doll, like you'd lean them on, like lay it down and the eyes would close.
Dolls did that for 100 years.
That's why I wonder. So I don't know. Baby Alive was a big thing. Bic lighter came out. Bic lighters.
What?
Yes, the first Bic lighter.
Really?
B-I-C, Bic lighter, it says.
Wow, 73. I guess so.
Oh, guess what? Guess what else came out? Booberry. Our favorite cereal. We've had many cereal talks. The Booberry. Breath Savers. The mint.
Huh.
Yeah.
With Retson?
Yeah.
No, it's Certs.
Yeah. This is just called Breath Savers.
Huh.
Dawn, the soap.
The dish soap?
The dish soap came out.
Wow.
And they invented the first hula hoop. The hula hoop.
Wait a minute.
Yes, hula hoops.
I thought the hula hoop was a 50s thing.
I don't know. Well, it just said hula hoops. Maybe it was the patent on it. Maybe it was just, I don't know.
I don't think that's right.
My list says hula hoops.
Because the reason they call it hula is because Hawaiian things were hip at the time because Hawaii became a state. And what was it, 59?
Right. But maybe it was just a thing, but maybe it was the first marketing of the plastic toy, like, oh, everyone bought a hula hoop. You know, like a...
No, I thought it was a 50s craze. Like late 50s, maybe early 60s. Like if it was 59, maybe it was 60 that it came out with the hula hoop.
It says
Now, if
73
you told
hula
me that it was that hula hoop type thing that you put around your foot with a lemon and you hop over it
no.
in 73, I would go, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that was in our Dangerous Toys episode.
Was it? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, we put that on... Yeah, look back in the Dangerous Toys episode, kids. Also, speaking of toys, Shrinky Dinks.
Man, I remember Shrinky
The
Dinks.
Shrinky Dink came out in 73. We liked that.
It was the dumbest thing.
It's
I don't know why it was
pointless.
so...
Stunk up the house. My mom banned them after we burned them.
I mean, it was the...
It was toxic. It smelled
Dumbest-
horrific.
It was the dumbest thing.
Yeah.
For people who don't know, it was like you get this piece of like acetate, plastic, see-through plastic, and they had printed like cartoon characters and shit on it. And then you take it and you do the cell painting.
Yeah.
So you're making the T-shirt red and the jeans are blue
Yeah,
and the
so
hat's
yeah,
green.
or you got Huckleberry Hound. You're making them blue. Here
Then
we go.
you go and you cut around the black outline,
Yeah.
and you place them on a cookie sheet, put them in the oven, and they fucking shrink down to a tiny size. It's the dumbest thing.
And then sometimes you could punch a hole through it with a hole puncher, and then you make a keychain out of it. That's usually what we
That's
did.
right.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it was the dumbest thing.
Yeah, but we never had a hole punch, so there we go. All right, so it's 73. So, also, too, you didn't mention this. Pink Floyd released Dark Side of the Moon.
No, I did. I mentioned that Pink Floyd song.
Yeah, you said Money was the big song.
Is that off Dark Side of the Moon? I don't know anything about Pink Floyd.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
I think Pink Floyd is overblown, overinflated.
Ooh, you're going to get hate mail. People love their Pink Floyd.
I don't. It has never jumped onto me.
No, it always put me to sleep, and I remember it was very tiresome. It made me sleepy.
Yeah. It's quasi-prog rock. It's so
Yeah.
self-satisfied. It's just meandering. I don't know. I like a good tight song. You know what? Speaking of which, want to get people mad at me? I got something to get people mad at me. Are we going too long?
No, we're good. We got extra time.
All right, I'll try and make this short. You know what I'm realizing lately is the Rolling Stones are a bit of a fraud.
A fraud in the sense because they're old now, or
No,
fraud, what year are you
musicality.
saying fraud, or all across the board
You
fraud?
need to do the broadcast news thing and pull down the back of your jacket. It's all creeping up on you. You need to
Okay.
sit on the tail. There you go. Much better.
Okay.
Much better line.
So,
So I'm realizing.
Okay.
So when the Stones started, Brian Jones. I was watching a documentary on
you're
Brian
talking
Jones.
about it. All right, okay.
Yeah, which is fascinating. He was a really good musician. Really talented musician.
Sure.
He was really good. He started the Rolling Stones. It was his band. But then Mick and Keith started fucking taking over because they wanted to get the songwriting money. Right? Like, Brian Jones hated Satisfaction. He hated pop songs. He was one of these blues guys. You know what I mean? So they ended up pushing him out of the band, right? And then he ends up dying. They get replacing him, this guy Mick Taylor. Really good guitar player, really good blues guitar player. I watched some YouTube documentary on him. I didn't know who he was. You know what I mean? He was a really good blues player. You know what I mean? Like, really good.
Right.
So it was like the Rolling Stones were getting well known because of the shit that Brian Jones was doing. They get rid of him, and then all that stuff. So it was like 69 to 76 when Mick Taylor was in there.
Yeah.
That's when they did all these legendary albums like Sticky Fingers and Exile on Main Street and all this shit. That means something to Stones fans. Here's my point. All the shit that the Stones is really known for is the 60s stuff with Brian Jones, and then this little range of stuff in the early 70s with Mick Taylor. Yeah. I always want to say Mick Thompson. That's the guy from Slipknot.
Right.
Mick Taylor. And anytime I get to the Taylors, I got to run down the list because there's 3 in Duran Duran. You know what I mean?
I mean, they have a huge catalog, but I mean, if you whittle them down, they got about 30 songs that you go, oh, okay, unmistakable. But I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
30? You think that many? I don't know.
I don't know. I liked certain 80s ones. I liked Undercover the Night and stuff
I
like that.
kind of like Undercover the Night as well.
You know,
that one
Bill Wyman really was getting some good bass lines cooking.
Yeah,
Could
he
really
was.
play on the upbeat. You know?
He was. And they were saying that Bill Wyman was like the biggest supporter of Brian Jones.
Oh,
He got it.
but he had like a 70s feel. He was almost playing like a lot of the disco runs kind of in there.
Yeah.
It was like a lot of octaves. Boom, doo, boom, doo.
You know how Charlie Watts never smiles? He used to smile when they had Mick Taylor in the band. Because Mick Taylor was that fucking good. He would play shit and fucking Charlie Watts would be like, yeah. He'd fucking smile at him.
Hey, I liked him.
Charlie Watts hasn't smiled since then. Anyway, so that was my sort of realization. It seems like the Rolling Stones were really sort of cashing in on riding on the Brian Jones and or Mick Taylor coattails. I'm not really sold that Mick and Keith are that great of songwriters themselves, because I really haven't been super impressed with much.
No, I've always
outside of those
as a
two
songwriter
characters.
myself, I always used to say they've got okay ideas. Their ideas would just peter out and fade out. You know, there's never a big lifting bridge until lately, but there's never. It was just kind of like ramble, part upon
Keith
part,
just goes,
and then it would just go this, and then into that,
and then he goes down here, and then repeat.
Yeah, it wasn't. There was no triumphant build. It was just kind of like just repeat verse.
Yeah,
chorus.
it always felt very half-baked to me.
You know, it was just it seemed very clumsy and accidental,
Yeah.
and no end point. And a
kinda
lot of
did.
songs would fade out. In the '70s, songs faded out a lot, and that's a pet peeve, man. That'll make me want to fight people.
And I think a lot of that was for the radio edits.
Sure.
Because they would, remember the Star Wars theme disco mix?
Yes.
That was like 15 minutes long. And
Yeah.
they played it on the radio, they would cut it down.
Oh, you'd have to fade it out.
I'd get so mad
You'd
you fade
have
it out
to.
before you get to hear the lasers in the middle.
Well, we got a list to get to, but I got couple more things of '73. We'll get out of the time machine. We're getting close.
All right, we'll do top 5, bottom 5.
Well, we'll get there. Okay, well, we're going to wrap up '73, and then I'll be done with the London Bridge opened. Okay,
Wait, the London Bridge opened
the iconic London Bridge was opened. That's what it says.
in Arizona?
I don't know. I would assume London.
No. Unless they did a new version of the London Bridge. London Bridge has been there for
Yeah.
a long time.
Well, I mean, London Bridge is falling down. Did it fall down?
Yeah. They made a new one.
Well, there you go.
And they took the old one and they sent it to Lake Havasu, Arizona.
Oh, really?
Yeah, fucking Stone by Stone. In the 70s, it was a whole thing. They used to talk about it on That's Incredible and shit like that.
I didn't know that one. See, there we go. That's
Yeah.
probably what we're talking about here.
So I don't think it's I think the original London Bridge burned down in the big fire of 1666 or whatever. But yeah, they got a stone London Bridge that they sent over Lake Havasu. So they have a new London Bridge now.
Okay. See,
I don't
there we
know
go.
the
We learned
details, but
stuff.
there was something in there. I remember. Yeah.
'73. Guess who bought the New York Yankees? George Steinbrenner.
Oh, I was gonna say Sasquatch, but okay.
And here minor politics. Let's get out of it, but you got to know this because we're in it now. Supreme Court decision: Roe versus Wade. Beautiful. Signing of the Paris Peace Accords, ending the participation of the United States in the Vietnam War. So there's two things that are boo-fooed now, and the end of post-war boom. The end of the post-World War II boom and the beginning of the first series of recessions that continued over the next decade due to the oil crisis. We're heading off the cliff. The '73, we were heading off the cliff. We're going there in politics land, and here we are now, but who cares? We're a non-political show. Yeah. But we've got, all right, well, '73 was kind of fun. It wasn't quite as action-packed as '71, '72. What do you think, Mike? You like '73?
No. I don't like anything about 73, and you can tell in the styling of the cars.
Yeah.
The classic Dodge Charger, which was cool in 69, still good in 70, 71.
I know. I thought about
72 was okay. 73 was fucking awful.
if we had extra time, but I didn't want to give you extra work in post. But I know cars are a whole subject in itself that we could have extra pods on years of cars.
Yeah, 73 is when the cars just started to look ugly and dumb, and it was like pointless.
Where's my list? Okay, I got a list. I did the best worst list. Oh, you're gonna like this one. We're gonna bring the show back to Funnyville.
All right, top 5, bottom 5.
All right.
What's the subject for today?
70s, 80s, 90s, as per usual. Wacky TV sitcom neighbors, best and worst.
All right.
The
All right.
wacky sitcom neighbor.
Okay, I wonder what the criteria is that makes them bad neighbor.
Well, do you want the worst, which would be the most punchable, or the best, being like wacky neighbor rules?
Let's do the best because we'll like them. Because I feel like the downside is going to be more interesting.
Okay. Well, okay, I went with number 5. Man.
Best.
Okay,
Number 5, best.
Best wacky neighbors. Now, this show had 3 series of wacky neighbors. I didn't know who to give the 5 to. The other 2 end up in honorable mention. We're going to go Three's Company. That was a cavalcade of wacky neighbors.
You are right. You are right.
You had Mr. and Mrs. Roper.
right.
We love Norman Fell.
I enjoyed the Ropers.
Yes, we love the Ropers. So that, but then there was always Mr. Furley.
Don,
Later on.
I mean,
Don Knotts. You can't argue with Don Knotts.
Don Knotts is,
The ultimate wacky neighbor.
I mean,
Especially 70s big collar Don Knotts.
He's leaning into it.
Yeah,
He's
especially
leaning
when you
into
got
it
into colors on TV. Because back then, when he was on like Opie, you know,
Andy
it was
Griffith
black
Show.
and white. He was still funny on black and white, but once you got him in the 70s mode, wow.
Yeah, but that Andy Griffith show is very straight-laced. He's a cop. He's in the cop uniform. In the 70s, he lets the hair grow out a little bit. You know, like you say, he's got the...
And he's cool for
Didn't
you.
he have like a wide lapel denim suit, you know?
Oh, he was great.
Glorious.
And then the other wacky neighbor in that one would be Larry Dallas.
That's his last name, Dallas?
Yeah, Larry Dallas.
Wow.
They'd go down to the Regal Beagle and hit on chicks. He was a used car salesman.
Yeah.
Yeah, hanging
Was
out.
he a used car? He wasn't a used car salesman.
I thought he was, or a car salesman.
Was
used
he?
car- Yeah.
Is that what he did?
Yeah.
I don't know. I never knew what the hell Larry did.
He hit on chicks.
Yeah, he hit on chicks that hung around the beach in the Regal Beagle, I guess.
Yeah, they went to the Regal Beagle and drank.
And it was all about stewardesses or something? I don't know.
Yeah, there was always a visiting nurses or stewardesses or something.
Visiting nurses. That's right.
Yeah, him and Jack would have to double date.
Jack, you got to help me out here.
Yeah,
My hands full.
I got Chloe and her sister. They're coming in. Yeah. So, all right. So that's those 3 sets. Three's Company had a bunch of sets.
Yeah.
That was a good set.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, number 4
Of the best.
of the best.
Okay.
I'm going Newman on Seinfeld.
Why is Newman a best? Okay, so once again, what is the criteria?
He's the wacky neighbor.
But is he the best for us, the audience? Or is he the best
show.
for the show, the character in the show?
Both, because we are the audience is the show.
He was awful in the show.
I
Jerry
know. Well,
hated
he's
him.
hateable.
Jerry
but,
hated him in the show. It was like his nemesis.
Yeah, but we liked him. I liked him.
That's what I'm saying. What's the criteria? Is it us?
Well,
Or
he's
is
just
it
entertainment.
the show?
It's just wacky because he was annoying.
In the show, he'd be on the bad neighbor list.
Maybe.
But from an
we
audience
love Newman.
From an audience point of view, you like
All
Newman.
right, now number 3. Here we go. From Laverne and Shirley, the wacky neighbor, Lenny and Squiggy.
Lenny and Squiggy, yeah.
Oh, you can't argue with Lenny and Squiggy.
Lenny and Squiggy were like bringing the chaos right into your living room.
Oh yeah, and you and I talked about this. Like at first we go, why didn't they have a spin-off? And then you go, they're not really much you can do with them. They kind of do it all as wacky neighbors.
They're not really interesting enough to be the central emotional core of the show.
Yeah.
You can't be surface level wacky.
Right.
It doesn't work.
But they could have been Dumb and Dumber before Dumb and Dumber.
Not back then.
Yeah.
The sensibilities weren't there.
Yeah, and writing wasn't. Yeah.
Yeah.
Writing teams, especially for TV,
you could've
wasn't there.
Yeah, it would not have worked on TV. Advertisers wouldn't get it. I mean, they might have done it, and maybe it was done, but it lasted 2-3 episodes. We never watched it.
Well,
No one heard about it.
So that's a good
not,
one.
Not Laverne and Shirley, but just some other show.
yeah. So Lenny and Squiggy, number 3. That's a great one. Okay, number 2. This goes into one of my favorite characters, but he was the wacky neighbor at one point. George Jefferson.
Yeah.
He was on All in the Family.
Yeah.
He was the wacky neighbor. He stole the show. So much so, they gave him his own show.
Which they could do because he wasn't surface level wacky.
Right.
He was a guy that would just show up wearing a 3-piece suit, being the next door neighbor, complaining about Archie making noise or something.
Right. And Archie couldn't figure out why he had money and he was a well-dressed black man.
Yeah, why he was in his neighborhood, yeah.
Yes, and how did he get his money to live here? Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Which,
arguably,
honestly, in the theme song for the Jeffersons, when they're moving on up, that's where they're moving from.
right, from Archie Bunkerland.
Which was
Detroit?
Queens? No, Detroit. It's like Queens.
Everything's
or
Detroit.
Bronx or something. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah, I don't, yeah.
So-
But arguably, now when you get the Jeffersons gets his own spin-off, he had his own wacky neighbor.
He had his own wacky neighbors.
Mr. Bentley.
Bentley, yeah.
Yeah, which he was fun. He was annoying, but he was fun.
But once again, two-dimensional wacky.
Yeah, couldn't hold his own show.
No, could not hold his own show.
Well, and then the number one best wacky neighbor of them all, come on, Kramer, Cosmo Kramer.
Yeah.
Cosmo
all right.
Kramer gets the award of the century as the wackiest, greatest character name.
As far as
ever.
wacky neighbors, yeah.
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 I would have to say hands down, yeah, Cosmo Kramer was probably the best. Now, we got honorable mention. I had to mention this one because think about a show where they're all wacky neighbors.
Friends?
Cheers.
Oh.
Cheers. Every character in Cheers could be the wacky neighbor.
Yeah, they sort of all are.
Yeah.
They're not strong enough characters to be interesting on their own.
But collectively they
Yeah,
work.
as an amalgam.
Yeah, so I like that. I like that. But okay, let's go number 5.
Wait, before you move on, I got an honorable mention.
Okay.
The next door neighbor from Tim Allen's show. What the fuck was it called? The Tool Time.
Oh, we'll get to him. I got him on the list.
Oh, he's on your...
He's on my fucking thumbs down,
All right,
fuck
you're
off
such
list.
a cynical dick. I guess he's on your bad list.
Yeah. Well, you know, they can't all be winners.
He was a sweet neighbor.
You like Wilson?
Wilson, there you go. He was there when Tim needed him.
Oh, but they didn't show him.
But he was a great character.
Oh, he's the voice of wisdom. He even gave the children wisdom.
Yeah. It was a
And the
great
wife
character.
wisdom.
And you put him on the bad list, you're a terrible person.
I know.
Terrible
I guess
person.
I'm horrible.
You
Well, he gets
stink.
up there. I stink. All right, Wilson. Well, Wilson, we're going to put Wilson at 5. Okay, we're going to go number 4. Gladys Kravitz on Bewitched.
She was a pain.
Pain in the neck.
Man, she was a pain.
Mrs. Kravitz.
Abner!
Yeah, her voice. She was fucking annoying.
And the funny thing is, she was there from the get-go. Like the original OG black and white episodes that we only have because they shot them on Kinescope or something like that.
Yeah.
She's there.
And what a premise for a show. I always hated Bewitched, but I liked it in a weird way.
What?
Well, no, I didn't hate it. I watched it because we watched anything that was on. But I was like, this is the dumbest idea I've ever seen, but I liked it.
Oh, wait. First off, Bewitched is fucking genius. It's great.
He was an astronaut who found the bottle.
That's I Dream of Jeannie.
Oh, yeah.
We're talking Bewitched.
All right. Okay. I got him mixed up there for a second.
Yeah, you did.
Oh, boy.
Bewitched is the regular guy marries a witch.
Oh,
Which is a well-done trope. There were movies back in the 30s with that as a premise.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're on HBO. I was going to check them out and be like, is this like a Bewitched prequel? But
Well, I had
to get
Wilson. Okay, here goes number 3. I hate it. Punchable. I'm sorry. We talked about this show earlier with Happy Days. I think the Fawn stinks. I'm sorry. The Fawn stinks.
you are a terrible person.
Oh, I know. I'm going to get hate mail. People are going to be like, God, they want to kill me. All right, we like the Fawns at first, but when you really do the math on the Fawns, not only the dance-off episodes were annoying.
Well, all right, you're conflating. You can't take down the whole Fonzie character with those last 2 or 3 seasons after Ron Howard left.
Okay.
Where Richie went off to college, and Lori Beth got elevated to a regular character. You know what I mean? And they brought in Ted McGinley, Heather
Ted
O'Rourke,
McGinley, yeah.
and Fonzie went to college. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, those stink.
Yeah, talk about jumping the shark.
That jumped the shark.
That whole show jumped the shark.
But I thought Fonzie...
But that's the whole point of jumping the shark, because Fonzie literally jumped the shark outside of Arnold's. And from that point on, it was like they started leaning into Fonzie as superhero
Right.
in the pop culture zeitgeist, which made no sense.
And his only thing was like starting the jukebox, and the misogyny of snapping his fingers, and the girls would have to come, you, get over here. He was such a misogynistic, cocksucking dickhead. I mean, come on. Even when I was a young kid, I was like...
I don't think that's right.
He forced, even like... I remember him...
The chicks loved him.
Well, they were dumb.
He had to tell them to leave him alone for 5 minutes so he could talk to Richie, and then he'd snap his fingers. He's like, "Oh, you can come back now," and they'd flock to him. Come on.
I think there's so many. There's so much wrong with that on 10,000 levels.
He is a sweet guy.
Well, because Henry Winkler's a sweet guy, and he could play.
Fonzie was a sweet guy at his core.
Yeah, when it all was said and done, yes, he always did the right thing. You know,
he loved the Cunninghams.
He did. He looked out for Joni. He did it. You know, yeah. But I gotta say,
you're missing the boat here.
I know.
You're stretching.
I know.
could easily swap out your Fonzie with a different one that is, if it's not in one of your other 2 spots left.
All right. Well, I'll do my other 2 spots, and we'll see if you could have swapped it out. All right. Well, we got to go number 2. Come on. We all saw Full House. Who was the neighbor?
Kimmy Gibbler?
Oh.
Kimmy Gibbler was fairly annoying. Andrea Barber. I loved her, though. She made me laugh.
She did make me laugh.
She was like the wild card. Everything was so like, normalcy and stuff. Like Bob Saget's character was like, Wednesday's cleaning day, and he was excited about cleaning. And then Kimmy Gibbler was just like,
eating
chaos
popcorn on the
walking
couch.
through the door. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything could happen with her.
But very
liked
punchable, but
I enjoyed her. I thought Kimmy Gibbler was good.
Kimmy Gibbler, yeah, I know.
She was more interesting than like Blossom's friend 6. She didn't do anything. Jenna Von Oy.
No, she was, no, I know.
Nothing against Jenna Von Oy, but the character was just like, eh.
I know. I was trying to think wacky neighbors, and Kimmy Gibbler was wacky enough, so to fit the criteria of a wacky neighbor.
Yeah, Kimmy Gibbler.
And number 1 stinks. Family Matters, Urkel.
I knew Urkel was going to be in there.
Urkel stinks.
That was the one where I was like,
I hate Urkel. I just want to jump through. I don't think Urkel's ever made me laugh. Well, maybe he did a couple
Urkel
times.
was hysterical up until the inflection point where it became the Steve Urkel show.
Yeah.
And because we talked about it, he had his own cereal. I remember they had Urkel dolls, like 12-inch dolls. I was always sort of fascinated with these pop culture 12-inch dolls that they would put out. Remember there was like a Mr. T doll, there was like a Michael Jackson doll.
Sure.
From the
They'd kiss. They had weird ones.
Well, I think that kissing started it all.
But yeah, they were kind of the Funko Pops before Funko Pops.
They were Mego made. But I remember like when I was a kid, we had like Star Trek ones. Like Kirk and Spock and Bones and shit.
You're right. Yeah. And there's the $6 Million Man one.
Yeah. We had those, and
They're about
Oscar
the size
Goldman.
of our GI Joes, which were big.
Yeah, they were like 12 inches. Or
Yeah.
something like it. It was like Oscar Goldman's exploding briefcase and shit. All that.
Yeah. They'd be the size of a GI Joe. They'd be about that big. So yeah.
Yeah, about that.
All
yeah.
right.
11 inch.
So yeah.
Okay, so that's our
Wacky neighbor.
That's a wacky neighbor.
Anything you want to add to the wacky neighbor?
So that's your best and worst.
That's my best and worst.
That's pretty good off the top of my head. There's nobody else really jumping out that I'm.
Yeah, because they're side characters, but I was thinking I had to include the word neighbor and wacky.
Yeah, and I mean, you could get into like, Rhoda Morgenstern. Nothing wrong with her. She's fine. She's sort of a wacky neighbor on.
Yeah, I mean, and how deep do you want to go? Do you want to go Fred and Betty Rubble?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to go too deep.
Yeah,
so
Fred
I had to
Ethel
keep
Mertz.
it- You're right. So the neighbor.
Yeah, no, that's fine. That works for
Fun
me.
list.
I'm okay
All right,
with it.
how are we doing
I'll
on
sign
time?
off on it. Hold on, let me sign off on it. Okay.
We're and anyone wants an ad read, we're your guys. It's the Shlicketty Newcast, kiddos.
All right, hit like, hit subscribe, tell people about it, share it with other people. Watch the episode all the way through to this point, because this is where you get to the good stuff. There it is. Watch the show, share it with other people. It really helps us out, helps our numbers.
Thank you all.
We'll catch you next week.
Juarez.